In today's video, I want to talk about how you can, if when you make this subtle shift from awareness, you can transform everything just simply by transforming from ego to awareness. In order to discover this, you first have to remember every single day who you truly are. And the other day, I had an insight as to one way you can discover your true nature is when people say, I can't hear myself think. When they say that, is quite literally the truth. They can't hear themselves think. When they're frustrated and snapping someone's head off, oh, I can't hear myself think. They're being truthful because all they really want is to be able to hear themselves think, to be able to listen to themselves think for 10 seconds, to have a little bit of peace, have a little bit of clarity. That is the shift that you have to make in order to switch from ego to awareness, is to be able to hear yourself think continually for the whole day, really is the goal. Because what you can do when you listen to yourself think is you're listening to the thoughts as not a thought, but as you, as the one that watches the thoughts, as the awareness. And when you can stay in that state, the longer that you do this, the more thoughts start to diminish and you start to find the space between your thoughts. This is being an awareness, because ego, again, is only the unobserved mind. So that shift comes not only when you watch the thoughts, but when you recognize that the thoughts that arise are simply your ego wanting to creep back in, wanting to consume your life, wanting to create more suffering. This recognition brings you into presence, because when you're present and you don't let the thoughts control you, you are in awareness. You are present. If one of the difficult things about this journey is you can do this really easily if you're in your house by yourself, maybe. But then when you go out into the real world and something happens, then it's hard to stay in the moment when, you get cut off in traffic or something happens with a family member. I was listening to a podcast with Eckhart the other day, and he said that if you want to practice your spirituality and practice how spiritual you really are, Go sit somewhere that you absolutely hate, maybe in a really busy place where there's lots of noise, and see if you can remain present while in a place that you hate. See if you can overcome all the feelings and emotions that want to arise without attaching to them, without reacting to them, and see if it helps you become more spiritually enlightened. And I thought that that was so good because it's so easy that if we're sitting in our own box, our own comfort, in our house while we're meditating to remain present. But once we go out into the real world and something happens, we complain, we get upset, we're frustrated, instead of letting those situations bring us more into acceptance of the now. Because the ego feeds on non resistance, the ego feeds on anything that's not acceptance. And so, even if there's things that we don't like, we have to come to terms with them one way or another. Might as well be accepting, be in the now, regardless of what's going on. So, one of the first steps in bringing yourself back into the present moment is to practice silence, to practice not letting the world absorb you so much into what's going on, but to, when you practice presence, you are immediately brought into the now. I'm sorry, when you practice silence, you're brought into the now. You stay in the now by continually, everything you do, even if it's bad, we're going to remain in the now. We're going to remain silent. We're going to remain neutral. We're not going to complain. We're not going to be frustrated. We're not going to be upset. That's how you stay neutral. That's how you remain present. And this is the essence of Eckhart's teaching. Now, real fast before I end this video, I wanted to apologize for not posting a video for it's been a month now. I really have been focusing on things in my life and focusing on my own energy because I kind of needed to. And this is not a advertisement by any means, but if you are going to Eckhart Tolle's live meditation event, let me know because I will be there and you should go because it's only like $100. I'm going to be at the one in Los Angeles. So if you're going, I will see you guys there. All right. I'll talk to you guys later. Peace out. Bye.